Good morning everyone. I welcome you all in the class of the chapter Indian Economy from 1950 to 1990. In the previous video, I have already covered economic planning, goals of 5-year plans, agriculture, critical appraisal of agriculture during 1950 to 1990, and in this video I am going to cover industrial development and critical appraisal of industrial development during 1950 to 1990. In the previous chapter, that was Indian economy on the eve of independence, we have studied that we have inherited an economy which had suffered a systematic deindustrialization. There was destruction of our industries during colonial period. The world famed Indian handicrafts were destroyed, that we have already studied in the chapter Indian economy on the eve of independence. The growth of modern industries was very disappointing. Our industrial development on modern lines was confined only to industries like cotton textile, jute textiles. Therefore, our planners realized the need for industrial development of the economy. Therefore, our second 5-year plan that started from 1956 aimed at rapid industrialization. Let us start the topic, that is industrial development. The poor nations can progress only if they have good industrial sector. Industry provides employment which is more stable than employment in agriculture. Industrialization promote modernization and overall prosperity. We needed to expand our industrial base if the economy needs to grow. Soon after the independence, Indian government realized that industrialization could make significant contribution to the development process. Therefore, it adopted a number of measures for the rapid industrial development of the country. Now we will discuss few strategies that were adopted by the Indian government for industrial development. First is expansion of public sectors. At the time of independence, there was virtually nothing except railways in the public sector. It was believed that the government should progressively assume more direct responsibility in the task of country's industrial development. For the proper utilization of natural resources of the economy, public sector is needed. Private industries may waste natural resources with a view to maximize their profits. For example, coal industry in India has been nationalized due to this reason only, and public sector only can help in reducing the inequality in the distribution of income and wealth. This is because that the profit of public sector undertakings can be distributed among large number of individuals, and public sector undertakings can sell their products to the poor people at lower prices. Second strategy adopted for industrial development was strict regulation of private sector. It was felt that government should influence the economic activities of the private sector through various instruments like license and allocation of critical inputs, including foreign exchange under its control. For example, under Industrial Development Regulation Act 1951, new industry could not be established without obtaining necessary license and getting itself registered. Next strategy was policy of protection. The government protected the domestic industry from foreign competition. Protection took place in form of tariffs and quotas. Tariffs are a tax on imported goods which make them costlier. Quotas specify the maximum quantity of imported goods. Tariffs and quotas together discourage and restrict imports and therefore protect domestic industry from foreign competition. And the Next strategy for industrial development was development of small scale industries. Government took lot of initiative for the development of the small scale industries. In 1955, Carway Committee, also known as Village and Small Scale Industries, realized the importance of small scale industry for promoting rural development. And in India, small scale industry is defined on the basis of maximum investment limit. Presently, the maximum investment allowed in small scale industries is 1 crore. We will discuss about this small scale industry in detail in this video only. The role of public sectors, that is the government sector, in industrial development. At the time of independence, the big question facing the policy makers was to decide the role of government, that is the public sector, and private sector in industrial development. There was shortage of capital with private sector. At the time of independence, Indian industrialists did not have the capital to undertake investment in industrial ventures required for the development of our economy. So it was the public sector only who can take initiative in industrial development. There was lack of incentive for the private sector as the markets were not big enough to encourage industrialists to undertake major projects even if they had the capital to do so. As we have adopted mixed economic system, government has the objective of social welfare. So it was the public sector only who was given the major or important role in industrial sector for achievement of this objective of social welfare. Or we can say that the state had to play an extensive role in promoting the industrial sector. Now let us discuss about Industrial Policy Resolution 1956. In accordance with the goal of the state, controlling the commanding heights of the economy. Here, state refers to the government. The Industrial Policy Resolution of 1956 was adopted, and this resolution formed the basis of second 5-year plan. I've already told you the main objective of second 5-year plan was to attain rapid industrialization. Industrial policy is a comprehensive package of policy measures which covers various issues connected with different industrial enterprises of the country. After the industrial policies of 1948, Indian economy have to face a series of economic and political changes which necessitated the need for a fresh industrial policy for the country. So government has introduced Industrial Policy Resolution in 1956. These are the features of industrial policy of 1956. Classification of industries. We will study about this classification of industry in detail in the next slide. Second was industrial licensing. Industries in the private sector could be established only through a license from the government. The basic idea of licensing policy was to encourage the establishment of industry in the backward regions with a view to encourage regional equality so that all the regions must develop on equal basis. The main features of industrial licensing policy were a new industrial unit could only be set up by license obtained from the government. License was needed even to expand production and was to given only if government was convinced that the country required the larger quantity of that particular good. And next feature of industrial policy 1956 was industrial concession. While the government was to assume a leading role in the process of industrialization, the private entrepreneurs were offered many types of industrial concessions, like tax holiday for the newly established industrial units in the backward regions. For particular time periods, they don't have to give tax to the government. That was the tax holiday for that newly established industrial unit. Power supply to such industries at very concessional rates. The next feature of industrial policy of 1956 was development of small scale industries, and these industries were developed with a view that they can generate more employment in our country, and small scale industries were given high priority to achieve the goals of employment and equity both. But these industries cannot compete with the big industrial firms. For this purpose, the production of number of products was reserved for the small scale industries. And these industries were also given concessions such as bank loans at lower interest rate. Now let us discuss about classification of industries that was done in Industrial Policy Resolution 1956 in detail. According to this Industrial Policy Resolution 1956, the industries were reclassified into three categories. There were Schedule A, Schedule B, and Schedule C. In Schedule A, those industries that are established and owned exclusively by the state. Will come under. And in Schedule B, those industries in which public sector will perform the primary role and the private sector will play the secondary role, that is the private sector supplements the public sector in these industries, will come under this Schedule B. Schedule C, it was those industries that are not included in either Schedule A or Schedule B. We can say that these comprises of remaining industries which were to be in the private sector. So this was the distribution or classification of industries in three schedules, that is Schedule A, Schedule B, and Schedule C. Schedule A, totally owned by the state, that is government. Schedule B, primarily owned by state and secondary owned by the private sector. Schedule C, owned by the private sector. Now let us discuss about the significance of small scale industries. In 1955, the Village and Small Scale Industries Committee, that is also known as Carvey Committee, recognized the possibility of using small scale industries to promote rural development. A small scale industry is defined with reference to the maximum investment allowed on the asset of a unit, and this investment limit has changed from rupees 5 lakh in 1950 to present limit of rupees 1 crore. So we can say that small scale industry is an industry whose investment limit is 1 crore. These are the following arguments which were given in favor of promoting small scale industries. First is generation of employment. It was believed that small scale industries are more labor intensive, that is, they use more labor than the large scale industries and therefore generate more employment. Next is regional equality. It was further believed that small scale industries can be started all over the country in villages and towns, and in this way their growth helps in decentralization of industries. Small scale industries have a tendency to develop in the backward areas of the country, so they can promote regional equality in the country. Next is equal distribution of income. Since small scale industries are generally established by middle and low income group of the society, so income is more equitably distributed after the promotion of small scale industries. But in case of large scale industries, income tends to concentrate in few hands, that is, few big industrialists only. As a result of various efforts and policies during 1950 to 1990, some achievements were impressive in industrial sector. These policies during also had some negative points. So we shall discuss about the impact of industrial policy. First is increase in proportion of GDP from 11.8% to 24.6%. There was remarkable increase in the share of industrial sector in country's GDP. There was promotion of small scale industries which lead to reduction in regional variations in the country. There was protection from foreign competition through import substitution. Growth of some domestic industries, especially in areas of electronics and automobile, would not have developed if the policy of protection had not been adopted. There was introduction of licensing policy, and with this government can control the private sector also. There was diversification of Indian industries. We can say that the industrial sector of the country was now not only confined to cotton, textile and jute, it had been diversified in other industries also. The industrial policy as adopted during 1950 to 1990 had some serious consequences also. Many public sector undertakings continued to function even when they incurred huge losses. It was nothing but severe wastage of nation's limited resources. So we failed to develop a strong export sector. The policy of protection though encouraged the growth of domestic industries, but domestic industries failed to achieve international standard of product quality. The government had vast powers to grant or reject license. This led to large scale of misuse of powers by regulatory agencies. Industries have not generated enough employment opportunities. This is because of lack of attention on choosing technologies. So this was all about the industrial development and critical appraisal of industrial development. Thank you.